Well, JW, your team had some work to do coming into this final round. What was your final message before the round started today?
Yeah, yesterday we played obviously a good round the first round. Yesterday we just didn't trust ourselves very well. Didn't play well, didn't trust ourselves, and that's really just kind of what we talked about. Was we knew what our plan was, we knew what we were capable of. We just needed to have a little bit more trust and faith in what we were doing on the golf course. We knew the scores were going to be low. Especially when you come out here and there's no wind. Like we had wind the first 2 days and the scores were pretty low already. And we knew we were going to have to do something pretty special. But just really trusting ourselves was kind of the key today. Just being confident in what we were trying to do and doing things that we knew we were capable of doing.
Summit League champs, back-to-back. What is this like for you?
It's crazy. I'm going to get emotional, but just so proud of these guys. We have been on them all year, just about that same thing, trusting themselves in these big moments. Anytime you get to win a conference championship, it's special. And obviously this is no different. But to be able to go represent our conference at the NCAA tournament with this group of guys and see what they're capable of doing at that level too, it's very special. But to see kind of what these guys have been through over the course of a very long year, a long spring and a long last 3 weeks. We've been on the road every week trying to kind of gear up for this and playing some really good golf in some really difficult conditions. But to see kind of all that pay off and them do this today, it's really special for them.
As you kind of reflect on the round and you start to see the scores come in and you see how your team is playing, how does it, I guess at what point does it kind of set in that you're going to go back-to-back and be a Summit League champion again?
It didn't set in until we had our last guy in the 18th fairway. I'm not a huge golf stat watcher. I'll check it here and there occasionally. I pay attention to body language with different players, and I knew we were in a pretty good spot. We really kind of left our guys alone for the most part today instead of a couple key spots on the golf course. But knew it was fairly close, and I think we were up 2 or 3 shots, and then it jumped to 6, and so obviously you feel a little bit more comfortable, and we're making some guys lay up on 18 and not taking any chances, but really it just doesn't set in until you kind of do the math because you can't see what happens with 16, 17 on golf stat. But we were asking our players and felt pretty good hitting that third shot into 18 with Mason in that last group. But before that, no, it was just, we were just kind of focused on what we were trying to do. So.
And even on 18 with Mesa, his shot went way left off the tee.
Yeah.
You guys spent quite a while trying to figure out what the approach was. What was that discussion like?
Well, we asked him to hold off because we were trying to watch what was happening on the 18th green. We were trying to do the math, understand where we were with the player that was in our group too, who was counting, who wasn't. All those things were factored into that. We had the time to use, and so we just used it to the best of our ability, and we made sure that we made the right decision for what we needed to do for him and for the team, really. Just getting it back out and play and not really taking any chances and trying to hit a great third shot after that, and but not do too much on that second shot. So that's what all the time was. We were just really working on math and trying to figure out what we wanted to do in that moment for him and for the team as well.
Who knew there would be so much math in golf? As you kind of,
I tell you what, when you have to start trying to figure out who made what and this and that, yeah. And our guys are focused, and Jack and I are trying to figure out kind of where the scores are and where everything falls. It's some work for sure. It's some work for sure, but we felt pretty confident. Like I said, just in those last few moments. But before that, we were still grinding pretty hard.
As you kind of look at Mesa's development from last year to this year, you know, the jump from freshman to sophomore year, it's pretty stark. Sure. He shaved off strokes off of his average, and you know, obviously coming out here and winning a Summit League title. Yeah. How has that been, kind of watching that?
It's been good, and it's been frustrating at the same time for both he and I. We've known each other for a very long time, even before he came to UMKC. He's put himself in a position where he's played some really good golf and stretches for a long time. Just couldn't quite put all the pieces together. But to watch him do that, obviously the maturity today, the decisiveness. I caught him on the 15th tee, and I just told him, I said, precise targets get precise results. So just be precise in your decision making, and he did that. He hit some loose shots out there today, but managed his game well and showed some maturity in that as well. And obviously trying to understand what you're trying to do with the team and individually. He kind of knew what was going on individually more than the team, but to handle that the way he did was special to watch. So very, very proud of him.
Well, Coach, the season continues. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate you.